Hey there, comic fans. I'm back from the comic shop again this week. And how many comics did I get? 4 or 5? There was only one on my pull list. So then I looked around the shelf for some other stuff. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So looked around the shelves for some other stuff. Picked up some first issues. And also bought some new comic book bags. Current comics, just to... since I had the budget this week for them, I'm like, may as well get them now before I need them. But one thing I wanted to show you this week, I was just rereading Eniac No. 1, which was a good comic. I put in the other 3 issues on my pull list, but in the back is a black and white David Lapham story. Has nothing to do with the rest of the comic as far as I can tell, but it's like this 8-page David Lapham story with sort of a twist ending that was kind of cool. So if you like stray bullets and David Lapham, look for this, Eniac No. 1, just to see if you can get that, besides it's a good comic, that backup story is pretty cool by Lapham. And let me show you my museum spot comic this week that I have over on top of my printer that I was looking at the cover of all week is this Avengers 160. This is another Joe Sinnott inked cover. This is George Perez and Joe Sinnott. I think this is my 3rd Joe Sinnott inked cover in a row or something like that. But this is from my period of the Avengers. I kind of from my childhood. I just kind of wanted to get one. Like some of the ones I've had out lately are like older than my childhood. They're more back issues to me. But this is one I picked up right off the stands just about when I started collecting the Avengers regularly. George Perez on drawing it, and I think this is the one where. In the Marvel No Prize book, they have one of the No Prizes where they show their goof-ups. I think it's either this or one of the issues around it. That's the Grim Reaper right there. And if you look there, he's got a scythe for a second hand. There's this one panel that George Perez drew of the Grim Reaper pulling on his mask, called dramatically like this, except he's got 2 hands. and he's only got 1 hand, so I enjoyed looking at this cover all week, and I'll put it away and take out a new one to put in my museum spot. And here we go with Comic Shop News 2021 Spring Preview. Looks like we got 2 of them here. We've got Comic Shop News 1752, a Batman one, and Spring Preview. I think the Spring Preview usually has stuff that's coming out in the spring. I think sometimes it's all trade paperbacks. Oh, Howard Chaykin's Hey Kids comics. I'll have to remember to put that one on my pull list. I didn't get the first series because I somehow slipped by me, but then I read them digitally and liked them. And then I went and bought the comics all on eBay, the 6 issues I think it was. And I liked them even more reading them not digitally. I really, really liked it's sort of a history of, a veiled history of comics. It's all, different people instead of the real people, but it's kind of the history of comics things. It looks like we got some Superman in this Comic Shop News one. Oh, The Invincible Red Sonja. I think that's the one Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor are writing. And someone else is drawing it, though. Amanda's not drawing it. Doesn't even say who's drawing it, and probably in the small print down there that I can't see because my glasses are over there. Then what did I get this week? The only comic that was on my pull list was Radiant Black. Issue number 2. I liked issue number 1. It was very much a buddy comic. It's a superhero comic. It was very much a buddy comic. I'll have to get my glasses so I can read these credits. Tell you who's doing it. Oh, it's Kyle Higgins and Marcelo Costa with Becky Carey. Of course, they've got it on the cover. But superhero stuff. It kind of reminds me a little of Invincible, just because it's a teen superhero. There's some teen superhero stuff going on. I wasn't expecting to like the first issue because the creator described it as sort of Power Rangers meets something. I can't remember. I'm not a Power Rangers fan, so that didn't turn me on. But I put it on my pull list because I enjoyed the first issue, so we'll give that a read. And then I picked up a number 1 from last week, Proctor Valley Road. I have no idea what this is about, but it's a Grant Morrison book. Grant Morrison, illustrated by Naomi Franquiz, colored by Tamara Bonvillain. She colors a lot of the stuff I read. Lettered by Jim Campbell from Boom Studios. No idea what it's about. It caught my eye last week because it was a Grant Morrison book, but I didn't have the budget last week for it. I was picked up a bunch of other number ones last week. I can't remember what now. So I'll give this one a read. Why not? Oh, Carmen. That was the number one last week that I really liked. Julia March's Carmen. That's going to go on my pull list. Really, really fun book. Check out Gore Vidal's channel. He made a nice video on Carmen. And I think Carmen was originally a graphic novel published in France. So it's going to be 6 issues here and then probably in a graphic novel again. But I'll get the 6 issues and see. But that just reminded me because I also picked up something that looks like it was published in Europe as a graphic novel. Another number one. Ablaze Publishing, Eros and Psyche by Maria Lovett. I saw another book by Maria Lovett there too that was from Boom or somebody. I can't remember what, but that was in issue 2. But I flipped open this one and liked the artwork. But it's clearly, the squarer format graphic album artwork. So I'll see. I mean, you can see how much wasted space there is on the top and bottom, especially in the side. But the artwork caught my eye, so I'm like, you know what? Even if I don't pick up the rest of this, I assume it's going to be 4 issues or something because it's a European graphic album. But I'm like, you know what? I like the art, so I'll look through it for the art. I have no idea what it's about. It wasn't exactly an easy path, but I would walk it 1,000 times if she were by my side again. Guess it's some sort of love story. We'll see. But like I said, I really liked the art in it, so we'll give that one a read. And then, the next thing I got is 2 things. I was looking on the shelf. Once again, I was just looking for stuff to buy because I only had 1 comic. And I saw this Deep Beyond, number 1, by, who is this? Created by Mika Andolfo, David Goy, Andrea Braccardo, and Barbara Nocenzo. All right. Oh, it's one of 12, so this is a 12-issue mini. And I flipped it open, and I liked the artwork. It said, "We're hypocrites. We're surrounded ourselves with fiction. We celebrate a lifestyle that's never been sustainable, one we don't deserve." No idea what it's about. It looks science fiction-y. Just look at all those space suits or whatever they're hazard suits. I just picked it up. I was just looking for something to buy because I only had the 1 comic. So I picked this up. I think this is an alternate cover. What does it say here? Tell us what cover. B cover. Who knows? There's a bunch of covers. Kirko. Let's see if this. Merca, so maybe this is the B cover. I just liked this better than the other A cover they had there, so I picked this one up. The woman all covered with boils. I don't know. Imagine that the woman all covered with boils cover was better than the other one. So that's something. And then I looked on the shelf, and they had issue 2 that was new this week. So I was like, well, I'm picking up issue 1. I may as well pick up issue 2. Why not? We didn't think anyone would be stupid enough to risk suicide piloting one of those death traps. They're just putting quotes on the back. Like I said, 12-issue series, I guess it said. Here's the first 2 issues. I'll see if they're any good. I like the artwork. The artwork looks pretty cool. So there you go. There's the 5... I'm getting so much new stuff. I mean, Radiant Black's only on its 2nd issue. 2 issues of Deep Beyond. 1 issue of Prime. I mean, all issue 1s and 2s here. It's amazing how... and if I hadn't had just put Radiant Black on my pull list, I would have had no new issues this week. So, and then I think it was 2 weeks ago, I had like 12 comics. And I was like, how did I get 12? How did 12 comics come on my pull list in 1 week, and now I've got like one comic on my pull list. When you collect indies, schedules can get strange. All right, let's show you a little my art here. I've been doing a bunch of stuff lately. Let's start with the one on the back, because I actually did a horizontal big ink drawing. Usually they're all vertical, but it's funny. Usually I do all these small first. I have small drawings, and sometimes I do small drawings and just then go, I don't feel like doing a big ink drawing now, and put them aside. And so I was looking to do a big ink drawing, and I was like, I don't feel like drawing a small drawing first. So I looked at my pile of small drawings, and sure enough, I had one that I liked. So I pulled this. I pulled the little drawing out, blew it up, made it into this big drawing. All these crazy textures and people. And it's funny, I don't usually do these horizontal, but this one, horizontal, drift away. Then I colored a couple of my Dreams of Things. Where's 104? 104. This one is kind of crazy. The colors on that image is just nutty. So it looks like a dream, because I can't even explain what's going on in this one. A guy with some sort of tentacles and a woman in a weird mod suit with something that's between them but behind them and radiating in the middle. Sometimes I draw things and I'm like, And then I colored this one, which, once again, whenever I have three figures, it always reminds me of Picasso's Three Musicians. So one of them ended up looking like a Picasso drawing, kind of, and the middle one sort of more like traditional illustration, and this one behind here just weird. So I had fun coloring this one, though, coming up with those strange colors and three different styles of drawing with a big green triangle behind them. So there you go. Some comics, a little artwork, and you guys have a good week out there.